What lesson can we take from the big tech tumult?
So what's going on with big tech censorship, which is very, very shocking. You know, when we're taking these weeks, we're learning in the Torah, we're learning about Yetzias Mitzrayim, about going out of Mitzrayim, and we find that Moshe Rabbeinu is arguing with Hashem for a long time. All kinds of objections. But one of the objections that keep on coming up, and we find that as being the final objection that there is that once we overcome that objection, we're smooth. It's a green light. Smooth sailing to the redemption. And that is, Moshe keeps on saying, V'ani aral sfasayim. I have a speech impediment. I can't talk. I'm lacking communication. And the Eibishter has to tell him, don't worry, I will be with your mouth, or I'm going to join with you Aaron, and he's going to speak for you. I'm appointing you over Paro. You're going to be able to take him down. Don't worry. But there had to be this passing. We had to get over this problem of the speech impediment, this problem with communication. The deeper reason for that is that on a deeper level, the whole gullus is a speech impediment. We find that the Yom Tov in which we celebrate Yetzias Mitzrayim is called Pesach. So the Arizal says, Pesach, which is Passover, also can be broken into two words. Pesach, the mouth can speak. Sach, from the word sicha, to speak. Pesach, the mouth can speak. That means that before the Geula, the mouth was shut down, was blocked. Whose mouth is blocked? Hashem's mouth. Because Hashem himself, up there in his abode, is doing fine even at the time of exile. No one is bothering him, so to speak. There's no challenge to him. The problem is, down here in the world, God is being ignored. People are doing atrocities. People are doing bad stuff. And that's because Hashem's communication with the world is lacking. And that means a speech impediment. He can't communicate his will to the world. Chassidus, we always learn that peh, mouth, the level of the divine speech, is malchus, kingship. Without communication, there is no kingship. Hashem wants to be a king over the world, and that kingship comes through Hashem's mouth. A king rules. Dvar melech shiltain, the king rules with his mouth. So the fact that God can't speak, Hashem is blocked. The Golus is, for instance, David HaMelech, who is the chariot for Malchus. He's the one who facilitates kingship, divine kingship. Says, Nolamti, I'm silenced. Dumia, I'm mute. Hecheshesi, they shut me up. I can't talk. Uke'evi nekar, and now therefore I have a lot of pain and aches and suffering. Because he can't communicate. Because the whole idea of Gullus is that holiness and godliness cannot be communicated to the world. Therefore, even Moshe Rabbeinu, who's the messenger, who's been empowered by Hashem to go take the Jewish people out of Gullus, also finds himself struggling with speech. He's afraid to talk. He's uncomfortable with his speech. He says, the people won't believe me. I'll bring them a message. They're going to laugh me off. I can't It's all a problem with that communication. And Hashem says, don't worry. I am going to be with your mouth and you're going to be successful. Let's take a look at this amazing thing that happened as the Golus is coming to an end and we're standing at the threshold of the redemption. It seems like one of the last pushbacks against the Geula was a muting of everyone's mouth. Take a look at the human face. I mentioned in the other video that the human face has been changed, and the fact that every human face has a mask Covering what? Our mouth. And that's reflecting the fact that Hashem's mouth is blocked. Mashiach will come, what does it say? V'nigla kvod Hashem, the glory of God. Kavod is associated with Malchus. Hashem's kingship will be revealed. V'ro kobasar, everybody will see. Kipi Hashem diber, that Hashem has spoken. But in the time of exile, there's a silencing. So all mouths are shut. Now, we've seen in the last couple of months, it seemed like the one person that was trying to avoid covering his mouth was the president. You never saw him with a mask. And he was getting all kinds of slack for that, for not wearing a mask. But even he was not spared from this blockage of the mouth. In the last 2 weeks, in particular him, they shut his communication. That the one who has the position of Malchus, of Nasi, of leader, cannot talk. The Twitter, the Facebook, whatever it is, all the methods of communication shut down. There cannot be a dibur. And if there's no dibur, there is no Malchus. Let's understand that on a deeper level. If everything in the world is a metaphor, we have a Nasi, we have a Rebbe, and the Rebbe communicates to the world through his mouth. And who's his mouth? The Rebbe said already regarding the previous Rebbe, that the previous Rebbe had a speech impediment. The Rebbe says we have to be his mouth. And with the Rebbe, after the Rebbe told us already in the years 57, 51, Tafshin Nun Aleph, Tafshin Nun Beis, that we need to bring to the entire world Besudas Hagiyula. We need to tell the world strongly that Hine Mashiach ba, and prepare the world by teaching about Mashiach non-stop. And those are the teachings of who? The teachings of the Rebbe, that his words of Geula should reach the masses, should reach the world. Yet we find that the Rebbe himself said, Amizet, that we're seeing that from all the Miftzayim that the Rebbe had, everything the Rebbe said kind of went smoothly. Chassidim took to it with such fervor and such excitement. Yet this one thing, somehow there is so much resistance. And particularly, it's not that people are lacking in their emunah. People have emunah and everything the Rebbe said, and so, but people sometimes are uncomfortable saying it. With the taina, with the argument, hein lo yaminuli, people won't believe me, they'll laugh at us, so if they're not, we can be, God forbid, scare people away, we shouldn't say. Same idea, Moshe, it's not a bad taina. Moshe Rabbeinu said, they won't believe me. But the Rebbe is saying, Hashem will be with your mouth. Will you just teach, speak. It will be received. Our avodah now, and I think the last avodah, in finalizing the Geula, and everybody knows that we can't wait any longer. We've reached the point that we must have Mashiach now, is that we should unmask, that we should say what we were told. For example, the Rebbe spoke that when he's telling us Mashiach is coming, it's a prophecy. And it's our job to teach the world that Yesh Navi Bi Yisrael, there's a prophet to the Jewish people. So it's one thing, I believe it. Another thing is, say it. Don't be afraid. Speak. Reveal. Say what the Rebbe said. The Rebbe said already that Mashiach was Nizgale, Tafshin Nun Aleph. The Rebbe said that Mashiach is already revealed in the world. And the Rebbe said that 770 is Beis Mashiach. And the Rebbe said Mashiach is Menachem Shemai. And all the other, and the Mashiach is standing on Gag Beis Hamish telling the Yid Negias Mango Laschem, and the Rebbe explained that that's from 770. So it's obviously that the Rebbe is referring to himself and giving us a very strong message and hoping that we will educate and teach the world. But there's a certain silencing. There's a discomfort, and then how is he supposed to get that message through if there is this censorship on the Nasi? You can't say that. I think the time has come now that we speak, and if it makes us a little uncomfortable, we speak anyways, because we need to give the mouth of Kedusha, we have to give holiness back its mouth. And once we have the ability to speak, and we talk, that itself is the Geula. Pesach, the mouth will speak. V'nigla kvoid Hashem, v'ro kabasa kepi Hashem diber, the mouth of godliness. And we will hear our Rebbe talking again, and Mashiach will be completely revealed. Shalom.